Welcome to another sample CKA test video. I'm an Azure Solutions Architect, an Azure Administrator, an Azure Security Engineer, and a Certified Kubernetes Application Developer. Sample test question 14. Defining container resource limits. Skill level, easy. This question falls under the scheduling and tooling category of the CKA exam. In particular, defining resource limits needed by the containers running the application. The question. Create a pod named Q14 pod using a manifest. The pod should be a single container using image nginx. For the container, set the resource to have at least 256 megs and 1 CPU. Have the container not use more than 1024 and 2.5 CPU. Next, using the manifest, schedule the pod on a cluster with 3 nodes. That's not important for the question, but if you're following my series, you should have a cluster with 3 nodes. But it's not necessary for this question to be completed. Once created, identify the node that runs the pod, hence cluster with 3 nodes. Write the node name to the file q14node.txt. 3 nodes meaning a master and 2 worker nodes. Good luck. Alright, step 1, create a pod using a manifest and image nginx. So manifest to me means a YAML file. So kubectl run, we want it to be called q14 pod, and image equals nginx, and dry run equals clients YAML, and we'll call it q14.yaml. And while I'm here, I'm going to make sure I have 3 nodes, and there we go, and they're all ready. So I'm all set and done with step 1. Alright, now you want to set some resource limits on the pod. So I'm going to do get into Vim. q14.yaml. And I'm going to go use my documentation. And I'm here. How I reached here was I typed in config a pod. And that, if you choose, this one comes up first or second all the time. And you have a nice list of things to look for. So here we want, either one will suffice. I'm going to go memory. And here I am. So I'm just going to take this, copy, come to my file. One, 2, paste, looks pretty good. And the little bit of the tricky part of the question is you gotta know what limits and requests mean. So request is what you want to be available for the pod to get started. So at least, so memory 256 and CPU of 1. Then limits is how much can it use, and our question says 1024 and CPU of 2.5. Okay. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to save it. And that should answer step 2. On to step 3. Alright. Tell me to using the manifest, schedule the pod on a cluster with 3 nodes. We have 3 nodes. Once created, identify the node that runs the pod and write that node to a file. So let's go ahead and create the pod. Q14 camel. Alright, we'll do a get pods, make sure we got it running. It's creating, and now it's running. Excellent. So identify what node it's running on. I believe kubectl get pods. Oh. And run it on worker 2. So we'll say echo worker 2 to Q14 node.text. Did that do that? Q14 node.text. Very good. I got 2 worker 2s because I ran through this once before. So you'll just have 1. Okay. One other thing that might be of interest, or you could be asked, if you wanted to take this question a little farther, or this topic, kubectl describe nodes worker 2 gives you some nice information about the pod and how much it is using. For example, once this, I believe this, the VM that's running worker 2 has 2 CPUs, so that's why it's 50%. And that'd be 100% over the physical. And then memory here, 1 gig 26. So it tells you what it's using based on the host. All right, that ends this question. And thanks for watching as always. And notice there is no question 13. We went from 12 right to 14 because I am quite superstitious. All right. Till next time.